Hi everyone, this is Amy. I want to show you a project I've been working on using the new Bloom collection stamps by Dougherty. I purchased two of them. I purchased this one, and I'm not sure which one this one's called, but I really like her because she's very much arts and crafts, and that's kind of my thing. I like to sew and I like to scrapbook and paint, and so this one was perfect for me. I knew I had to have that one. And then I also purchased this one because I just love, she just looks so beautiful. A little bit like my mom's Barbie that she had when she was younger, and she still has it. But I really love the beautiful big flowers in her hair and all around her. So this one I had to have. And so I purchased both of those. And here is a a card that I made last week using this collection. And I just want to show you how I made that using these stamps. I used the new Stationer's Desk 6x6 paper pad by Prima. I really love their papers. This pad is perfect for a lot of smaller projects, or I used 4 pieces to do the inside of my card. I just put 2 places for journaling, and these are pages from the collection, and this is also a page. So it only used 4 pieces of paper plus a couple bits to do the flowers. And I used, for that particular doll, I used this one for the flowers, and then this page for the pom-pom flowers. So, love that color collection right there. So, I want to get started with showing you how I make my girls. So, I first of all start off with the Julie Nutting Buff paper pad. It's an A4 paper pad. That is perfect. It's a bunch of skin tone colors, and Julie Nutting made them for her Prima doll stamp collection, and I have a bunch of those, and I've had fun making them as well. I just go ahead and stamp, you know, a bunch of dolls, and then when I feel like making one, they're all ready to fussy cut. That's the thing about these. There's, you know, a lot of fussy cutting with them, unless you just want to stamp them directly onto the paper that you're going to use. So that's what that looks like. So first of all, here's the stamp stamped with StazOn onto the cardstock, the printed cardstock. And then I also stamp it onto white paper. And the reason I do that is so that her eyes will be white. So I just take them and cut them out. And I don't cut out her eyelashes or her any of the other parts. I just cut out the whites of her eye. Okay. And then a little bit of glossy accents to glue them in place. What I love about glossy accents is it doesn't take very long to dry at all, but it gives you just enough time that you can wiggle it a little bit if you need to. Okay, so there's her eyes. They look very bright right now, but that's quite alright. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Distress Marker Walnut Stain and give her some brown eyes. And you don't want to color the white parts if you can help it. Alright. So you can do it that way, or you can go ahead and use your watercolor brush and watercolor it. I like to just blend it in a little bit. Another thing you can do if you want to do different color eyes, you can do dots along, you know, little dots of ink color in different shades, and then blend it a little bit. Okay, so the next part I want to show you is how I do her hair. And her hair is already brown, which is great, but I want it to be a little darker. And so in here I have just some Distress ink, or not Distress ink, it's actually water-based ink. And so you just take it and blend it in towards the center along the outside, and then blend in. And you just go around the edges and blend in toward the center. And it doesn't have to be super exact because you're going to trim around it. And the only thing is if you get too far ahead of yourself, like I just did, then you have more of a straight line and it's not as blended. So you just got to keep that in mind when you're going, just to go a little ways and then blend up before it gets too dry. I think I got too much on there. And it's okay if you accidentally get into the flower a little bit, because we're going to go ahead and stamp the flowers and put them in place. But you want to make sure and get all the edges. And if you ink too much, you can't undo it. So it's better to ink less and do more layers than to get too much and then have to try to fix it. So it dries, it'll be blended a lot better. Okay. Alright, so that's good enough for the video. So we'll put that aside. You know, you can make it as dark or as light as you want. I'm just going to go ahead with the walnut stain. It's more of a brown color than her hair, but if you notice, most people's eyebrows are not exactly the same color as their hair, either because they dye their hair or because of sun, but really it'll look fine. So, take the water brush a little bit and blend it. And that just takes away any rough lines, I think. Makes it look a little better. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to go ahead and do her lips. And we're going to use the Worn Lipstick by Tim Holtz. And it's pretty bright. But that's what I like about it. And the colors we're going to use for this one is a lot lighter than the last doll I did. This doll over here, I used darker colors. And on this one, we're going to use the new Prima Bloom collection, or Bloom, something blue collection. So we have this collection right here, and I'm going to go ahead and I had already pre-picked papers that I wanted to use from this collection. I picked 3 different colors, and just really pretty papers in this collection. If you haven't seen it before, go check it out. It's really, really cute. So I have the different flowers here. And so basically, it's just a lot of fussy cutting to get it to that point where you want to put these on. And so I will go ahead and cut these out and glue them on. And you can see what it looks like when I'm done. So I will try to do that as fast as I can. And you don't have to worry about cutting out all those little bits because you're going to layer one on top of that. So when you're gluing things down, you just have to see, well, what's underneath this and sticking out of this and what's on top, and do the up top ones last. Now, I would probably go a little slower and do a little do a little finer job, but I just don't want to make you guys bored. So, cut that out real quick. Got those flowers. The leaves are kind of hard to cut out. I really need some better scissors for this part, but I'm going to go ahead and do it the best we can. Okay, that's going to go under that one. Alright, we can actually start gluing these down. Oh, I want to ink my edges first. I almost always try to ink my edges with my walnut stain, just a little tiny bit so we don't have the white on them, and that makes it look more crisp. So alright, now I need to cut out the other green part. The green's kind of underneath everything, so you kind of have to cut that out first before you glue too much on. Now if I would have thought really far ahead, I would have fussy cut all this out ahead of time. But you never know, there might be somebody out there who wants to see how I fussy cut, so. And because that's something that I do a lot on my projects. And really, it's just about getting all the unwanted bits out of the way. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because if you do ink it, inking your edges hides a lot of imperfections. Obviously you can't leave too much behind or you will notice, but it's not something that's hard to do. So the best thing is to just get all those big pieces out of your way, because then it's easier to turn. And I tend to turn the paper and not my scissors. Let's see. Come in this way. And going in these little, yeah, sorry about my hand. It's just something that I do when I'm cleaning off my water brush. I tend to wipe it off there. It's kind of one of those habit things that I do. I don't really care if I have ink on me. It's sort of natural. This part's really hard because it's that little tiny bit and there's only that little tiny bit holding it. I'm going to try these scissors. I bought some new scissors hoping that it would because I think my other ones are getting dull. But I don't like these ones as much as my old ones, because my old ones I'm used to better. Okay, we're going to call that good because this is taking just way too long. So then I just ink all the edges just a little bit. And it really makes a big difference. And again, you don't have to get every little edge and corner. Just if you see any white pieces poking off, those are the ones you want to ink. And so I just do this. And then when I'm all done, I will fussy cut out this whole girl like I did for the card. But it's nice to build it up because then it's thicker. So I'm going to pat it down. Okay, and so on this one, the things are behind and these ones are above. And these ones are behind. I probably should have done those ones first and stuck them under the flower, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, so these ones right here. And again, these ones don't have to be perfect. Just on that part there, because that's the part that's going to be seen. The rest of it's going to be covered by flowers. So, just going to ink it a little. And then just some glossy accents all over. Okay. And that's another thing I love about these dolls is you can do them any color you want. I forgot to ink it before I put the glossy accents on. So then just push them down. Alright, and then I need to do these ones down here. Let's see. Another thing you can do is you can shade these as well. And I actually will probably go back in and add another layer of flowers. Or I'm in the centers. So I might stamp those again. So doing the different colors and layers is very easy for those of you who don't like to ink them or color them. This is a great way of adding color. And actually when I was looking at this, I was thinking, you know, I might just not do these ones back here and just cut them away so they're not there and just leave those like that. And I think that's what I want to do because I kind of am liking it. And so I'm going to do one more little flower with this because see. Hope you can see that. I'm not really in shot too well. Okay, so I've already layered these ones, and then now I want to go back and cut out a center. And then I'll ink it. And then cut out this one too. You can cut out the whole flower and layer the flower, and you can pop dot them and all kinds of stuff. I like to just do it this way for when you're doing cards or things that need to be a little bit flatter so they don't take up a lot of room. And then just ink it. But using that Julie netting paper really helps speed up the coloring process for doing skin tones on her dolls as well as Jamie Dougherty's dolls. So another thing from Prima that just really makes life so much easier. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I hope it makes sense for you. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and put it on a card. And if you want to see this card and its completion, check out my page on Pinterest. And I'll also be posting it in my group, So Scrappin', on Facebook. It's a So Scrappin' store. I don't sell anything there, but it's a store. Anyway, so hope you enjoy my tutorial on these dolls and hope it helps create a lot of fun for you. Thanks. Bye.